If you take the black equation out of baseball, which they done, people can look this up. The ratings and money have dropped significantly. You take the blacks out of the equation of soccer, Africans drop tremendously. Basketball. I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch a white person dunk a ball. You take the black equation out of basketball. Take the black equation out of hockey, which we invented the sport of hockey. Down. You take the equation, blacks out of the equation of football. Down. The reason I'm saying this, because a lot of people are saying black, what's the matter with the black race? What we don't have no culture. We just argumentative. We're such an angry culture. And that's it. But I'm like, have you done your history? We're about to hit a $4 trillion economic race.
Yeah.
And if you look at Major League Baseball, they took the parks, baseball diamonds away from the black community. They said, we're going to go to Dominicans. We're just going to go. And guess what? Sales went down. And it's been proven. And I want people to look it up. When they took blacks out of the equation, now blacks are starting to get back into baseball. Remember, you had the Sammy Sosas, you had you had black people, Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders and all of them, the home run chase. Remember that. And now when you take the blackness out of the equation, what do you have? Nothing. Nothing. Take Africans out of soccer and a few blacks, nothing. Take the blacks out of football, nothing. Blacks out of basketball, nothing.
Yeah, I think that they are all predominantly when you look at a couple of those. I think baseball is a little bit different. There's more Hispanics in baseball, and I think that one's probably the most diverse of all of them. Maybe
It's
soccer.
well,
Um,
soccer recently
yeah,
became diverse.
yeah. Well, soccer,
Baseball
I think it's become more diverse here, but I think it's been pretty diverse.
all around.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um, baseball, like I said, Hispanics, Dominicans, guess what? You look at the sales and compare it when you have majority blacks, sales are down.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that when people come together, right? Like the bands, the sports teams, like the greats, when you look out there, it's been ones that have come together collectively, right? It's been blacks, it's been Asians, it's been Hispanics, it's been Middle Easterns. And so I think that there's this lens that we want to have that is a racial equity lens, right? Because that's the goal at the end of the day. We want things to feel fair to everyone, but we also want to know that there are individuals that started a little late in the game. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? And so I think when we are looking at trying to build community, especially for our youth, I don't go out and tell youth to just go find black mentors. I say find someone that you relate with. And I think a lot of times we put a shadow or a force field up when it's color. Like if they're white, oh, I can't, right? I can't do anything with them. If they're this, I can't do anything with them. And I don't know. I just don't, to me that doesn't feel sustainable. I'm all about black power. I'm all about black people, but I don't know how I feel. Like I grew up with a white stepdad since I was 1.5. My brothers and sisters are mixed. I got family that's Asian. And so I think it's important that we don't forget and we understand the history. But in order for us to get ahead, I feel, and for us to build true community, um, we got to get along. Mara said, can't we all just get along? Like, we got to get along as people. We got to learn how to build relationship better. We got to learn how to take the color away, knowing that it's there, but knowing, okay, they're black. Well, okay. Well, what do we do differently? Oh, if they're black, maybe they can get me in these doors, or maybe I can get them in these doors because I'm white, right? If we come together, we can get into all the doors.
But
So
in a perfect world, I think you're right. But we're not there yet.
we are getting there
I,
by
I don't see it.
I
And the reason why I
yeah.
don't see it is because what happened. Prom send-offs is a prime example because I know you deal with teens and stuff. Prom send-offs. What in the world parents are thinking? Giving their child $5,000 to $10,000 so they can flash it. Some riding, renting a goat just to say bad. You can go to Lincoln Park Zoo to do that. It, it has gotten outrageous. They're hiring a funeral hearse in a casket just to say I'm killing it.
The things we do to get on social media.
Yeah, but however they say social media pays. And the more outrageous stuff that I do, I'm going to get some money. I'm going to get this. My question, you went to prom send-offs. Don't sometimes you just shake your head and say, why?
You know, I think that I don't ask why because I know some of the answers why. Um, I think there's a lot of ego in there. You
For the
know,
parents or for the
I
for the
think
team?
I think probably for a little bit of both. I think peer pressure comes in when we talk about parents and well, Johnny's mom's doing this, or JJ's mom, doing this, and kids can put pressure onto their parents. But I think kids struggle knowing what is most important, right? And yes, it's important to look good. But if you look good one day of the year and the other 364 you feel like crap, then was it worth it? I guess it depends. I guess it depends on what industry you're in, right? Maybe you're in an industry where one day of the year pays you 100,000 to $1 million, and you can deal with those other 364 being a facade. Now, I think when these kids are out there going and they are true influencers, that's different to me. If you're really trying to be an influencer and that's your job, and you want corporate entities to come at you and pay you to bring people to their organization, that's different. You're taking it towards a career and towards building value. If you're doing a one-off and I've never seen you on social media and you got a goat to say bad, right? I think that that's doing it for the glory, the fame versus actually really doing it because that's what you love doing. So, but I don't judge. I don't judge anybody.
I do. When it when it comes down to it, you mentioned peer pressure.
Yeah.
It's different back in the day when you and I was growing up. We're dealing with, you know, a teachable moment. You got to play together, pass the ball, share.
It's
That's
crazy.
that's not the peer pressure we're going to
Man.
now. I kid you not, you can look this up. Before the age of 10, there are boys that said they have sexual experiences and girls sexual experiences
Yeah.
before they reach third grade.
Yeah.
I and the peer pressure of saying, "Hey, you know what? Such and such did this to me. You know, you ain't get that." That's one. Two, money.
Mm, 100%.
You don't got the new Jordans.
How you gonna get them?
You're gonna
How you gonna do
steal.
it?
You're gonna rob.
Yeah. Or you're gonna be out on the street trying to slang, man. Yeah.
Three, haircut. If you don't look fly with your nice whatever it is,
Yeah. Consistently. Yeah. You bum me. You bum me.
I know.
Yeah, man. That's tough. I, it's it comes back to what you said, man. Identity. And part of it is culture. Part of it is knowing.
Is it? Let me put it this way: if you talk to the hip hop community, this is not hip hop. That's not our culture.
Which
This
part? Which part though? What do you mean?
the hip hop community. You talk about MC Light. You're talking about um, EPMD.
Right.
You're talking about the greats,
Yeah.
kind of like the Michael Jordans
The
of
OGs. Yeah.
hip hop. I wouldn't say that, but Charles Barkley. Um, I- but however, when you look at it, they're saying that's not. This is not us. Can even the older generation saying, "What are they doing?"
Yeah. It's scary. I think it's very scary to see what social media has done to change how people portray what realness is and what it's supposed to look like. I think back in the day, OG rappers, they rapped about stuff that was going on, stuff that they really did in the community. Aside from your, here and there folks that were lying, but for the most part, it was not about drugs and not maybe there was a couple. I'm trying to think back. There was a couple, but it wasn't
It was
as
about drugs, but it was saying no to drugs, or these are the effects you will get. One of my favorite hip hop song, and it's a classic, Night of the Living Bassheads by
I don't
Public Enemy. Here it is. Bam. In your face. God, this is a dope jam. And it just goes in about it. The lyrics is just powerful.
yeah.
They're not saying don't use drugs. They're not saying that. They just say this is mumble rap. My mama says, I say forget her. It's not about don't do that. Remember self destruction. I even talk to some rappers and say, hey, you talk about unity. Why we can't get together and say, stop the violence, stop the drugs. Let's unify.
Because that doesn't sell.
It
That
sells.
doesn't sell.
It sells if you get crucial conflict. It will sell if you get Twister. It will sell if you get, let's say the Tate brothers. It will sell if you get those people to say, come on, let's put pen to paper.
Yeah, I think it's I feel like there are folks in the community, some of which you mentioned, that are influencers that could get all on the same page. There are too many forces at play, I feel. I shouldn't say too many forces at play because that's using extreme. I think there are a lot of forces at play that don't want to see the change happen
Why?
because they're
Money.
making more money with it not happening. They're making more money people being hurt than healing people. Point blank. If I could heal someone, right, and I could teach you how to eat the right way and have right food in your community, then I don't have to get you drugs for cancer, right? I've healed you. And so then I can't charge you for those drugs. So then I'm not making as much money. Versus, man, let me drop these nuggets in your community, these nice little pockets of healing for you. Let me drop this grocery store in your community so that your kids can eat. So they're not eating Cheetos from the corner store. That's the only place to eat food on their way home. That's by design, bro.
Or Takis,
Right. I'm not saying I
Katakis,
don't like
whatever.
Takis, right? But that's by design. Because if they can keep harming us, then they can keep feeding us their medicine. I say they, it's the powers that be. It's whoever's got the most money.
You mentioned organization. Your organization does a lot of collaboration, have a lot of teams. You got a lot of rappers, aspiring hip hop artists. You already know. Why not have them? Come on, let's huddle up. Let's put pen to paper, and let's basically write a unity rap and get other organizations on board with this and start a trend.
I think it has to start with policy first because
Policy,
with
government wise.
probably starting with just within the radio industry, right? Like all the radio industries should come together as a collaboration. That's where it's all getting fed through, right? Don't get me wrong, there are a ton of, side streams and platforms and all that, but the radio stations, man, that's where most of the music is coming through.
It,
And so,
it is. However, we got to change the dynamic. If your organization complains, my organization complains, and their organizations complain and say, take this sugar honey iced tea off the air, it's harming. Studies have shown it harms
right,
our community. But you wouldn't even dare put the middle finger up and play F the police. You wouldn't dare play it.
yeah,
I had several meetings with GCI Power 92. I said, go ahead, play it. It's freedom of speech. Play it. Go ahead, play it. Why
because
why you scared of playing it? But you want to degrade the black man and the black woman. You want us to fight and butt heads. And it's shameful that you have, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go on another tangent right quick. The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God, sitting there promoting two queens fighting over a job to get more ratings.
it sells. It sells, it sells, it sells. We are in capitalistic America, people. If you didn't know, better ask somebody. And unfortunately, I, I don't know if they're synonymous, but I think capitalism and racism are very closely tied here in the US. And so, we started the conversation off talking about the youth and talking about, some of the challenges they face. I think their identities have been stripped, our Black youth. I think our school systems haven't done the greatest job. I don't think that our school systems are set up to receive the funding that they need. I don't know if what Trump did by completely severing all funding is going to be good or bad. I think that at some point things need to be cut off to see where things are going and where things are siphoned. Where that ends up going, I think is going to be detrimental to the growth of our youth, especially here in Chicago, because this is a city that has a high crime rate. And a lot of that is
But
due,
according to the mayor, it's not that bad. I mean, it's
comparatively speaking. So
it,
it's not that bad but when you look at other countries, like we're up there.
what
We're up there.
what ticks me off is the mayor gets there with his mohawk.
I do like the mohawk. I'm not gonna lie. I will continue to.
Uh,
And
mhm.
before we say anything about nothing but respect, I know the mayor and nothing but love. So I will say that. But you are allowed to say whatever you want. And I will. Yeah.
I I know the mayor. He stays a couple of blocks down from me, and we don't see eye to eye on policy. And what ticks me off is you go on there and you basically say, "Hey, you know what? The kids got to eat too when they're looting." Then what about that small business owner? Sometimes you got to be stern. People look at you with both lens. You got to be careful what you say and how you say it. My problem is crime is down in comparison to New York. No, it's not. In comparison to California, Los Angeles, no, it's not.
Right.
You know the statistics. Anybody can steal a car in the city of
And
Chicago.
we are, and it is getting better. I will say, it is getting better. I think there are things that are being done, but there's things that pain me. An example is you think that there's going to be a teen takeover, and you have probably close to $1 million worth of city resources
Mhm.
out
Right.
that aren't throwing a pop-up for the kids. You have security and police standing around in case something bad happens. So when I see things like that happen, it has me very concerned for, like, what you already know what the kids like and want. They like concerts, music, food, hanging out, getting a haircut, looking
And
good.
here's the problem, though. The problem is they don't use organizations like yourself.
Well, I've been to a couple where those organizations were there, and I'm like, why? And I've come because I've been asked, but I'm there. I'm like, this is the city running this. Like, why isn't there an event with like good
Because
music
you allow Karens and Toms to think what black kids want. That's the problem.
or you are like parents where you try and get your kid to not do all these things as opposed to putting in front of them the things that motivate them, that their
If
attention is
it was
already drawn
free,
to.
trust me, parents will drag their kids to something free, and you know, and I know they will drag their stuff to free. We're almost running out of time.
Can I plug our event?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. One more thing. Um, I wish that we can do better with organizations like yours. I just wish. I just, if I win the mega meal tomorrow, I would be like, my man, here you go. Not all of it.
Y'all gotta eat. Y'all gotta eat.
I'm
Right?
not saying that either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I would
I
say,
appreciate that, man. Appreciate
here you go. Do what you need to do.
That's love, man.
Where they can get in contact with you, promote your events, go to your events, and be safe.
Man, first of all, if you're a young adult, really, if you're anyone, we do a lot of community-based events, projects, some partnerships on murals and stuff. So really anyone, we're always looking for volunteers. But young adults, we have a program where if you go on our Instagram, it's Your Passion First. That's Your Passion, the number 1 ST, or you can go to our website, www.yourpassionfirst.com. Again, that's Your Passion, the number 1 ST. We have a pretty dope event coming up this Sunday. Coda the Friend is our headliner. Zion Ali will be performing as well. Some other dope artists. We have a pretty fun challenge that you all can compete in with a chance to win airline tickets, Southwest airline tickets, anywhere Southwest flies. Let's go. So you can see information about that in our Instagram. If you can't make it, you could still be entered into a raffle to win 2 airline tickets. All you got to do is RSVP and grab a free ticket, and that'll give you entrance into that raffle. A lot of vendors out. If you are still looking to be a vendor, I'll hook you up with the promo code. Message me. Message me on Instagram. Again, that's Your Passion First. Your Passion, the number 1 ST. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.
You coming back in a couple of weeks anyway.
I'll come back anytime.
All right.
Anytime.
That's going to do it for us on the Drive at 5 on Intellectual Radio. Go ahead.
Cuba trip. If you are a young adult that will be in high school next October, we have a Cuba trip planned. So if you are interested in going to Cuba, all expenses paid, we have that opportunity. We have 3 or 4 spots left open. So message, Instagram, link in the bio. If you scroll, you'll see the Cuba trip link, or again, just message me on Instagram or contact us on the website.
All right. That's going to do it for us on the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com. Thanks to Wanda, our executive producer. Earl behind the scenes. You guys have a wonderful week.
Good talk as always, my man.
I don't know what happened to my phone. It just blacked out. Put it down.
The views expressed on this program are not the radio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors.